Hello. Okay. This wasn't what I originally planned to do today. I thought we were going to do some software writing, but I realized this could be a more interesting stream subject to do. So, what we're going to do today is try to back up the contents of the hard disk from the chaplet LA30 Hallican to a zip disk. And we're then going to try and read the zip disk onto a modern computer so that we can actually use the files. So, I have a couple of things here, and I'm not exactly sure how well this is going to work out. So, this is a parallel port zip drive. Yeah, I would like to know why there are borders around the camera, too. I don't know. For some reason, when I connected it to my capture card today, it's outputting the
Croft subscribed at tier
what
1.
is it? DCI
subscribed for
4K?
39 months, currently on 11-month streak, and says seen a box of HP discs. I link you on Discord. End of line.
Hellcroft, thank you for the tier 1 sub there and for 29 months. I appreciate that. I did see that. Yeah. It's expensive. But I can't say I've ever seen HD HP disc, so that is pretty cool. Anyway, this is a parallel port zip drive. And then we have a computer that has a parallel port on the back. I don't actually know if it works or whatever. 39 months. You've almost... What did I say? Because I did 39 there, right? I think. 30, it was 39. Hellicroft, whatever I said, thank you for the 39 months of tier 1 sub. I said 29. I've had a rough morning. So, yeah. Sorry about that. Anyway, parallel port zip drive. And then this is where it gets complicated. I swear I own a USB zip drive somewhere. I could not find it for the life of me. So instead, we have an IDE Zip 250 drive. And where this is going to get complicated is I'm going to try and use a USB to IDE adapter. So the first thing we should probably do is make sure that this is going to work. Because if this doesn't work, I have no idea what we're doing today because I don't have a fallback plan. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, anyway, the phone, for some reason, I'm guessing that the Blackmagic capture card is outputting an EDID that supports 4960 by 2160, or 4096 by 2160. So the phone's like, I'm going to output that resolution. I can attempt to set it to 3840 by 2160, and we'll see if that works. Mode 2160p. That was a good idea. I'm so glad I did that. How about 1080p? What if I reconnect the phone now? Maybe it can't update the EDID in real time. Well, that sure was a good idea. I'm so glad I did that. Fun. All right. How about 4K 60p DCI? How about auto? Let's try auto. Yeah, auto works. Let's just stick with that. It is also possible that the HDMI matrix that I'm using is messing with it, so we'll just, yeah, leave it be. Anyway, best stream ever. Yeah. What's going on at the bottom? You should go watch LGR's video on this. You'll learn a lot more about it. He has one of these and just did a video talking about it, but they are indicator lights. So I just crop the source in OBS. Yeah, I'll do that just so people don't feel compelled to ask about it. One moment. Yeah, unfortunately, it's slightly difficult to do that on center. You know, maybe that'll work. Come on. Oh gosh, it's computer's doing wonky stuff. One moment. Wait, is that correct? Is that good? I think that's good. Okay, let's go with that. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Get out of studio mode here. Okay. I'm overexposed because I have a light like directly on top of my face. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. For the moment. Okay. The first thing I need to do is switch to the HDMI capture source. Okay. We need to get guest dot. Actually, what we should probably do first is plug in the zip drive into the computer and see if it works. So, okay, let's try this. How come you couldn't make it to the office today? I can't really say because it slightly doxes the office. So I'll just leave it at that. There's nothing wrong. So don't worry about it. It's fine. Okay. So thankfully, this thing uses the 4-pin Molex connector. So this adapter I have can just plug in like this and then like this. And I don't need a stupid 4-pin floppy adapter. All right. Now I can plug in power, which I have this here for. Let's see, but it's 3 drives at once. What do you mean it's 3 drives at once? I'm confused. He refuses to cut holes out of the buttons. I mean, yes. First, we don't even know if they would work if we did that. They probably would not, since this one is different. You have one like that forbidden A to A cable? Yeah, these are stupid and evil, and I hate them, and it is frustrating how many devices I have that use these. I'm plugging this into, you know what, these other things plugged in here. One more. Box 2. Okay. Power. Box 2 is powered. Plug this in. Okay. I have a dual screen DVD card player, uses an ADA cable to join the 2 screens. Oh my gosh. Laptop has ISA slots, right? Put ISA USB card in to transfer stuff. That would have made a lot of sense. I don't have one here. IDE zip drives come in 2 flavors. One will work with USB adapter, one might. Oh, fun. Yeah, that is awful, Wesley. All right. Well, let's find out. This is a Zip 250 drive, so it's later IDE, I imagine. Hopefully more compatible. I'm just going to go ahead and put a disk in there. You know what? I had no idea which is the best way to handle this. Disk before, disk after. Just PC 100 We'll put it in after and see what happens. Okay. Blue LED is on. Zip disk. Oh my gosh, you cram it in there. Okay. And now we wait to see if it shows up. I guess I could do LS USB. There's maybe a couple of things, though, plugged into this computer, so that's not the easiest thing to determine. Maybe F-disk L, F-disk dash L. There's also a couple of drives plugged into the computer, though. None of those are a zip 250 drive, though. So click, click, click. I don't know. Let me try turning it off and on again with the disk installed. What are we recovering off zip? Hopefully the contents of the hard drive of the laptop I worked on yesterday. So far, it's not looking great, though. LSBLK. Is that going to really be all that different? Yeah. I'm going to unplug the USB cable, rerun it, shut off. I'm going to plug it into a different USB port. See what happens. This is a USB 2.0 port. I know for a fact that if I try and plug the hard drive from the computer into this thing, it does not work. But the adapter itself does work. I have a stack of IDE drives and some of them work. Set it to master? You know, that could actually be it, now that you say that. Let me double check. Okay. So there's the jumper documentation. Master should be right. We are not. We're at cable select. That's close, so I don't know if this will actually fix it. Well, it was already on cable select. It wasn't on slave, so I'm not super optimistic setting it to master is going to fix it, but maybe the adapter is stupid. Who knows? Okay. It is now set to master. And this feels like this could plug in off center. No, it can't. All right. Try that again. And still nothing. Sudo dmessage. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, USB storage, USB mass storage detected. It's not listing a capacity, though. So this is what I get out of that. USB adapter doesn't like a tappy drives. Well, that sucked. Okay. How can we read this drive? Let me pull out the other of those Dell computers. Does this have an IDE connector on the motherboard? Probably not. There's another one of my Samsung drives in here that shouldn't be in here. No. There is not. Pretty sure it's not, yeah. Okay. Parallel port drive on a Windows 98 machine. Huh. You know. That's not impossible. Any parallel port drivers for Linux? Probably not. But the bigger problem is getting a parallel port on a machine with Linux. And USB parallel port drivers generally don't work. You know what? We can do a Windows 98 thing, but I was not expecting to do that. So I need a little bit more setup time here. So I'm gonna need to BRB this for a moment. I don't really have a good BRB screen, do I? This? Okay. All right, here's the deal. I'm going to go grab some things, okay? And then I will be back, and then we will be able to set up a Windows 98 machine for this. But I need a moment because there's going to be a lot more setup now. So I will be right. Okay, so apparently, when I go to it muted the input to the server for some reason. That's weird. Okay, anyway, let me say this for a third time now. I have everything that we need, but I still need to get it set up, okay? So I need you to bear with me for a moment while I do that. Because essentially, I need to set up the RetroTIG 4K and some other things for video capture purposes, or else we're not going to be able to see anything here, okay? So, just, we'll just keep working on this.
Claw Raccoon says Cheer 100 I can't bear with you. I can only raccoon with you. Is that close enough? End of line.
What are raccoons if not tiny weird bears? Thankfully, it's a little cold out today, so I'm able to pull in some air into this room because I'm about to make it extremely hot in here from running all my video capture hardware. All right. Trying to decide how I want to handle the next steps here. They'll keep on a pet raccoon regardless of AC law. Would a raccoon even do that well here? Oh man. Cold being 17C, what's wrong with you? I don't actually know what temperature it is outside. It's just I know I turned on a fan and it's colder outside than it is inside, which is gonna work. Okay, that's all doing its thing. I need my video routing software up and running. Okay, video routing, and then I don't remember exactly which one. Config 4K. Okay. Video route -C config. Hey. Boom. All right. Oh, that's so many buttons. Desk VGA maybe. I just realized I think I'm only going to be able to see through video capture here. That kind of sucks. Okay. Let me hold on. Enjoy looking at this while I set up the hardware part because I need this out of the way. I'm so nervous about the hinge on the laptop because every single other laptop I have from this era, the hinges have completely disintegrated on, and somehow this one has not. Showing the computer screen instead, man's lens closet. Well, there's no lens cloth. Actually, there's a lot of lens cloths here. This is actually the home of the lens cloths. I have lens cloth uh, origin here. These are cool. These are 1 square foot lens cloths. I use those to put between screens and keyboards on laptops that are stupid, where the spacebar will rub a line into the laptop. Hmm. Oh. Please. It kind of. That's my VGA input cable. Network cable so we can actually get data to and from the Windows 98 computer.
Neil Dragon 90 subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 45 months. End of line.
I just had a horrifying thought, but I think it's okay. Neo Dragon, thank you for the tier 1 sub there and for 45. Okay, I'm going to count it correctly this time. This one, and then that one, and then these ones. 45 months. Thank you so much, Neo Dragon. I think there is, in fact, a parallel port cable in the box. It occurred to me that I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I checked before I left that there is a parallel port cable. And yes, and the power supply. Okay, good. That would have been bad. The drive is in there too. Hopefully the drive works, because I don't actually know. Okay. All right. Close here. Trying to think about how I can do something. I do that. Then I can do this, which is not working. Okay. Now this. Just one moment. We're getting close. No, F2. Is the game going to be leased on what? We're not going to play a game. New game coming that's this Galactic Racer. Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, I am aware of it. It seems almost more like Demolition than it does Episode 1 Racer to me. Computer, what are you doing over there, stupid? Why? Hold on. Computer's being a pain in the butt. For some reason, it's acting like there's no mouse and keyboard connected when there very much is a mouse and a keyboard connected. I'm going to turn it off and on again. Let's just do this. Will you? No. Like I'm not even getting power to this stuff. There's no LED on the mouse or caps lock on the keyboard. Hmm. Unplug it. Okay. It is outputting power. Maybe, okay. I'm gonna restart it one more time, and I'm not gonna touch the keyboard, and then maybe, hopefully, I don't like overwhelm the PS2 controller or something, and then it actually works. Okay. Just not touching it. See what happens. Just leave it be, and I should be able to skip scan disk. Okay, and there we go. Okay, it was 100% on me. I was trying to get into BIOS to make sure I didn't disable the floppy controller, but you know what? Just not worry about it. Oh, don't need power supply for the USB IDE adapter. I still need to find a copy of drivers, though. Okay, so that should work. And then, one moment, I need to launch my RetroTink 4K software for controlling it. Or I guess I can just go grab the remote, since I have the actual remote. Where did I put it? I never use the real remote. There it is. Okay. 10. Beautiful. That's not quite right because we have it cropped for the stupid. All right. Still not happy. Oh, I know why it looks weird. Okay, we'll just not worry about it. That's close enough. Okay. Still waiting for desktop to show up. Hold on, you guys should be seeing that. Yeah, it's there. Okay. Yeah, it's just all off to the side. Don't worry about it. I'm a weirdo. I like the start menu on the left. Okay. So now I can't see it because I'm looking through basically what you're. Okay. COM LPT. Okay, so we have the printer port. Okay, so we need. We just need the zip drive drivers. Because actually, this has USB, so worst case, I can just transfer it instead with a flash drive. So, alright. Back to looking for zip disk drivers. Now for Windows 98, I guess. Although, I do want the DOS ones as well, so that we can actually run it on the, thing. So that's, yeah, that's kind of important too. Okay. Old PC, 286 or better, attach a suitable zip drive and GIST software that is supplied with the drive, but I don't have that. Omega Zip. I have no idea what this website is. They're not bombarding me. Oh, I do have AdBlock installed. Good. Okay. For DOS, 2000 XP, zip 100. Okay, so I will grab. Is this just straight to a zip file? It is. Okay, one moment. Let me grab. Not this. You know what? That'll work. Hardware, storage. Somehow I don't have. Wait a minute. This wasn't alphabetized. Okay, no, I don't have zip drive stuff. Zip. So, yoink. And yoink. Hold control and drag, by the way. That's how you do this. Okay. So open with extract here, auto detect, and then okay, now I'm a little suspicious. Why is it a single exe? That's a little weird there. Open with arc. I don't know what this website is. I don't know why anyone would be putting out zip disk drivers that are viruses or some nonsense, but trying to think. Let's see. Zip 100 LPT drivers. Omega software drivers. Maybe I should just. DOS days is legit? Okay. Why is it so weird? What's in this? Hold on. Let's see if this is just guest.exe. No. It's another weird exe. This probably has everything I need here, so I'm more inclined to try this out. Rename the exe to zip. I don't know if that's going to work here. Because, for one, the original is also named zip back, and it came as a zip, so I don't know why it would. I guess I should have just done that. No. Okay, iOmega, extract, auto detect. And then that's more what I was expecting. Yeah, we're copying that over, I think. You know what's like a flash drive, but even better? An iOD with a VHD that is formatted to FAT32. It probably is a self-extracting executable, but it's a little sketchy to be putting that in a zip. Like, why? If I can already extract a zip, I shouldn't need a self-extracting executable. No offense to DOS days, but it's just a little strange. Okay. By the way, fun fact. The iOD will work as a flash drive for a GoTech. So you can use an ion with a GoTech to boot a floppy. It's a little fun thing there. All right. So now we go back to this. Hold on. I'm going to make my life a little nicer here. This is one of those computers where I'm always nervous about plugging in USB devices. All right. Connected GoTech USB floppy bridge and made the world's worst flash drive. Oh, gosh. All right. And perfect. Okay. So now we have our first round of files. And you know what? We're just going to go ahead and use this computer to put the guest files on a real floppy. Real quick, though, I am going to wish I were smarter. Hold on. This, and then this, and then this. Perfect. Okay. Now I can do that. No. What am I doing wrong? This. That. Okay, there we go. No, that still didn't work. One moment. Hold on. I need to see what's on this floppy disk without showing you all, but I can only see through video capture. So I'm trying to figure out how I can see the video capture without showing you guys. Ah, I got it. Okay. Oh, wait, but then that's, you know what? This is fine. Whatever. I got it. Here we go. I just can't read chat for a second. It's on my off-screen monitor. Okay. Floppy disk. What do you have? Literally nothing except for the like Windows 7 system volume information. That's perfect. Okay. Shift, delete. Also, that means that I can show it. You know what? It'd just make my life easier if I just did it this way. Okay. Audio gone? Hopefully not. What could possibly be on a floppy that you can't show? I don't like people's taxes information. Like that's that's always the thing that I don't want to show is people's private information. Okay. Do I just need these two files for DOS? Maybe that whatever the other INI because it's been a little while. Let's just put these on there over the best. Okay, and now over here, guess 95. Is it really that easy? Didn't think you'd have other things on people on a floppy. I mean, I don't buy every single floppy disk brand new, so there's always a chance that there's going to be some weird stuff that someone else left on there. Okay. I left the other disk in that drive. And that's a manual or a motor eject drive. Great. Okay, hold on. I have new floppies. I just didn't grab one for this because I had the brilliant idea of thinking I want a blue one to go with the zip drive because zip drives are blue. Don't judge me. Yeah, I have the discount now. Okay. All right, so did I just run guess 95? Is that it? Let's find out. Looking for iOmega adapters. Okay, mouse stop moving. Please don't crash a computer. Judging intensifies. Still no mouse movement. Control enter doesn't do anything. Little tiny princess computer. Yeah. Signing drive letters. I don't like this, but you know what? Let's just not worry about that. I'm gonna eject the floppy here though. Drop that in the thing. Looking way too hard. I think that's it right there. 100 megs. That's not my FAT32 thing. Used 0. Okay, I think we're clear. Okay. Then we might be good. Okay. Yeah. All right. For kicks, let's copy this. Okay. It did, in fact, write to the actual drive, so it's not just faking it. Perfect. All right, now I'm going to delete it. You know what? Yeah, I'll delete that because it'll be nicer for this to just be clear when we get the Pelican. Okay. All right. Plan officially formed. I think I should shut down this computer because, you know what? First, let me copy the iOmega folder here. That way I don't have to load the IOD again. All right. Now I can shut down the computer. So this is a minor thing here. If I press one button on the RT4K remote, boom. Look at it, it's so much better. Hold on. Profiles, advanced settings. You know what? I can also press the ADC button here. If I manually tune the phase, the streaking will mostly go away. If we want to get real into it, yeah, there we go. Usually it's better about that. There we go. This is one of those things that's really difficult about VGA capture. Okay, I normally use this in a different setup with the RetroTank 4K, and that phase setting is correct for this, but I have different lengths of cables that I use, and the phase depends on the length of the cable. That's how sensitive VGA capture is. It's ridiculous. All right, now unfortunately, I was not anticipating doing CGA capture here today, so I am not going to be set up for capturing the Halican. But I can point my phone at the screen. So I'm going to do this. And boom, there we go. All right. Viscosity variants, they're much less problematic than the parallel port ones who need guests. I mean, I'm looking specifically to transfer files between one computer and another, so the wonkier one is preferable because it's easier to set up without like a full install. But also, one of them is a laptop, so it's not exactly gonna work with a SCSI. On the other hand, I do have a SCSI one. Okay. So I need this to wake up. There we go. Okay, we're going to set this to 17 or 16.5 actually volts. Close enough. All right. Up. I'm going to grab the parallel port cable. Guess I'm going to grab the whole drive. Be a whole lot easier to plug it in before the computer is, like running and stuff. That's right. It's all behind the handle. Go. You know what? Just pretend I plugged that in on camera. This is too heavy to do that with. All right, there we go. Wow, crazy. It was such a good shot of me plugging in that cable. Whoa. All right. All right. We are going to be booting the system disk. We get a slow motion replay. Yeah, sure. Click. There you go. All right. What's this bad boy run? Windows native 1.0. Yeah. No, it runs DOS 5. It would run 3.1. Okay. Plug this in. You know what? I'm just gonna look at that power supply one more time, make sure that the knob didn't get bumped. Still says 16.5. We're good. Would be cool to continue not murdering the laptop. All right. Oh, fun. The phone loves it. 30 frames per second is a lot less horrible. It is booting the floppy. Floppy access light is right there. Is that the kind of AliExpress PC that doesn't hold voltage when it heats up? So it's an adjustable voltage power supply. I don't know quite how the adjustment works, but I have a feeling that it's more likely to hold the voltage level correctly because it is adjustable. Because if it drifts, it should self-adjust back. Unless the pot just like tweaks a pre-input stage gain setting. I don't know. All right. For the record, since I put in the hard drive format, I have not had to add it again. So, dir still works. Now, we're going to put in the guest disk. And we'll see if this works. What'd you miss? Not a whole lot. Beautiful. Yes.
Finding
a drive letter. No drive letters were added.
PSU to the right. End of line.
PSU to the right. I don't get it. But thank you for the 100 bits, Chloe. Do I need to get into the BIOS and make sure that the parallel port is enabled? Finding a drive letter, though. That part's weird. You know what? I'm going to try a thing really quick. I'm going to power bank to the right. Who puts it to the right? I have no idea. I really don't know what the point that is trying to be made is. So, all right, gonna control alt delete here. The auto exec file on the hard drive has been renamed, so I think it should be possible to boot, yeah, from the hard drive. So maybe this will work better. No drive letters were added. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's try this one more time. We'll press delete. Yeah, the thing is, if I adjust contrast for you, I'm probably not going to be able to read it. Oh, wait, no, both are happy now. Never mind. It better not need a fancy parallel port. I will be so sad if it does, because then I have no way of exfiltrating data other than 1 megabyte at a time. All right, control alt delete. We'll make sure that we can't change the parallel port settings or anything. Do I want to run setup? That's why I pressed delete. Okay, new date. Nope, 1980 looks right. Time, sure, whatever that is, that looks right. Memory expansion is, wait, why do you think I have 384K of memory expansion? Enable LCD auto sleep. No. Are these options correct? Those ones are, but what about my parallel port stuff? Maybe there isn't a parallel port setting. Standby while, yeah, so that's, there are no other options. Rat. Via serial? I really don't want to. On so it's a 40 meg hard drive. There is 34 megs free. Probably. Yeah, 34 megs free. So there's about 5 or 6 megabytes of data total. Man, that wouldn't be the worst way to do this. Not crazy about it. Why is it not working? Yeah, it's much smaller than HDDs in a single zip disk. Yeah, it is funny. Zip disk though, year. It was released some year. They don't have a year on it. I'm gonna guess 1997. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up. But it might be 20 or 40, yeah. Like using fast links, serial backups, commercial, license copy, using nice Windows GUI. I mean, yeah, the thing is, I'm gonna need special 8086 version of the driver. Normal driver needs 386. That was what minus 0 degrees is talking about. Ah, okay. Well, let's look that back up then. I'm gonna shut this off. And let's go back to the minus 0 degrees page. 8086. Okay. Guest software will not run on that. Following 2 DOS based packages do. Palm zip. Okay, let's try this. Guest software 8088. Yeah, let's just try this. Copy the page. Pause is written 88 compatible then palm zip. Parallel port. Okay, but where do I get this? Long copy of the web page is here. Okay. Cars DOS 4 or later, check. Of the Omega driver. Okay, so this is 2 and 8088. Parallel port, standard port is sufficient, bidirectional is supported. Okay. I think this will work. 286s are weird. Yeah, I don't have a free demo version. Wait, what? What what's the restriction? Yeah, I know pre-breakfast, that's like huh. When was this last archived? 2024. Okay, maybe this will work. One moment. Oh my gosh, I actually got it right. Okay. So let's go over this one more time what they were saying. Okay. Maybe the Brutman page. Okay. Now back to this. Okay. EXE versions, conversion driver primarily for PC DOS 2, which EXEs can't be loaded. Okay, hold on. There's a lot of words here. All right. And releasing binary version drivers 1.0. Source will come. Stay tuned. Here's what PCs that provide single executable for DOS device. Driver, fdisk program, disk editor, guest application, small executable files. Provide access to ancient parallel ports. Okay. Ancient processor. Works with a bunch of stuff. Is intended to be extensible framework. I don't think I need that. fdisk program. Provide standard formats. Wait, what? The fdisk. Where's these? Oh. Oh. DOS 5 does the not FAT 32. Hmm. Uh. Hmm. Uh-oh. I hadn't considered that. Hmm. It is probably FAT16, which would support up to 2 gigs if I remember correctly. I don't know what the disk is formatted as actually. So I guess we'll just try it and hope for the best. Format the disk under DOS. Yeah, we might have to do that. It looks like it comes with some kind of fdisk program. Let's see. No. Okay. fdisk program provides standard formats for different disks. Specify. Was there Do I need... I don't think I need that. I should grab it, but I don't think I need it. That's not where I wanted that. Use F disk. Oh, PC zip F disk. Okay, so it's a specific, it's a thing unique to it. Okay. Okay, to get started, scan LPTX, X is a port number where the drive is attached. List drive, go to step 2, load a drive letter, guest, port number, drive is attached, load to be referred to output, F disk, edit partition. Okay. We don't want to load it through config sys, so we don't need to do that. Okay, so we should just run this and then this. And then if we can't access the drive, we have to run this and format it as FAT16. Okay, that should work. All right. I'm gonna do this the lame way, because I don't feel like doing it the fancy way. Somewhere around here. Literally today, I just held... Yeah, there it is. USB floppy drive. DOS 5 sounds old. I mean, is any DOS not going to sound old? Even FreeDOS sounds old. Hmm. I don't think I want to write to this disk through this. Let me try that one more time through a different USB port. And then if it still acts wonky, I will just use the Windows 98 computer to write it, I suppose. Okay, let's use Windows 98 computer to write that. That's super weird. Where are we with this? I'm having to use open source drivers because it is a 286, which is ancient, and I'm trying to write the drivers to the floppy disk so that I can access it, but my USB floppy drive is apparently acting real weird. So I'm going to copy the files to the FAT32 partition on the iOD, and we will copy that to the floppy disk using Windows 98, which I suppose I can go ahead and turn on right now. Come on, iOD, wake up. Wake up. Why is it not turning on? May have accidentally unplugged that cable when I was messing with the VGA stuff. Okay, that one's good. That's horrifying, because that was plugged directly into the only USB-C port on my motherboard. Hopefully I didn't damage it. Okay, so we're going to copy pczip.exe. All right. Now let's do... Waiting for... Okay, for some reason, the computer's not turning on now. Okay, power button's just weird. Linear actuators. You're gonna need a worm gear for something like that. All right. Well, hopefully I can do this all with the mouse. Yeah, Willie Ken. That's why I was realizing that there was going to be an additional problem with trying to get the driver running. Because once I plug that zip disk in, if it is not already FAT16, which in theory it should be, then yeah, I got a problem to solve. There's no reason for it to have ever been formatted as FAT32. Okay, I'm just gonna kill all that. Okay, I can't easily. We're just gonna delete. Yes, for real, delete. Yeah, I know it's a program. That's why I want it gone. All right, and now I'm pretty sure this is the only one I need, but let's just copy them all in case it cares. All right, there we go. See, no reason to turn this computer off this time. So now, there we go. Zip disk driver for 8086, 286 laptop. In theory, this should work. Not plasma. This is LCD. It just has an electroluminescent backlight. All right. A. Not wonky. Okay. Dude, I just noticed the oh, hold on, sorry. The VGA lettering on this has crazy Z's. They have a strike through. That's kind of cool. All right. So PC zip /scan /LPT, hopefully 0. So PC zip /scan /LPT 0. Let's see. That didn't work. That's a rare Z. PC zip. Maybe this is like a later version that doesn't do that. Maybe I can do it without. Holy moly. Well, that in theory would have been helpful. LPT1. Okay, well, all right. PC zip scan LPT1. Of course, it's a Microsoft product. Obviously, it'd be numbered starting from 1. Yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. So now we do guest instead of scan. So PC zip /guest LPT PT1. Okay. Yeah, it's accessing the disk. Drive D. Okay. D. Sure. It did not complain. It also didn't give me a file space free, though. Copy. Is it -S for subdirectories? Is that valid here? The display improved since yesterday? We're under different lighting conditions here, so that's part of it. Very Polish. Wait, copy. I think /s c star to d invalid switch s. Okay. Copy question mark. Okay, well, I guess we're just gonna try star. Oh, is X copy a thing on DOS 5? No. All right, we'll just try copy star and hope for the best. Copy C star to D. I think I want that, right? Invalid switch. Am I doing the wrong slash? Am I pretending that this is Linux? I think I am. Copy C star D. There we go. I don't see the DOS folder, so it did not get folders. Copy C star to D. What is that going to do? That still did not get subdirectories. C. Yeah, /s doesn't exist on this one, though. That's a problem. DOS file tools are bad. They are extremely bad, yes. Yeah, so copy / question mark. We have A for ASCII file for some insane reason. B for binary file, again, for some insane reason. And then V for, like, just checksum the files or something. I don't know. X copy does not exist. Well, let's make sure they're actually getting transferred too. Yeah, they're actually getting transferred. Okay. Yeah, X copy. Oh, hold on, it's calculating the free space. Yeah. So X copy does not exist. Need to copy it from Windows 98 machine. That won't necessarily work because sometimes these hook into the specific operation or operating system calls, and then they don't run. Like, you cannot copy a mode command from a different DOS and put it on there. So something like a file copy that could potentially interact with the drives directly, I don't know if that will work. Copy question mark works, but we only have A, B, and V as options, which are all useless. All right, let's check one thing. Dir C. So we have 4 directories. Dir DOS. Dir C DOS. I think there were subdirectories in there. Boot from a 622 floppy. We might be able to do that. And I might have a Windows 98 boot disk as well. But yeah, I can also just make one. Need zip drivers. But they're on this one, and then we can just swap them. Once a zip driver is loaded, I believe it's a TSR. So that should be fine. Can't hear at the moment. Someone wants to briefly fill me in on chat. All right, got it. PKs. All right. So I think in theory I should just be able to run the guest LPT1 command. PC zip guest LPT1. And then we'll put the MS-DOS boot disk back in, and we'll see if Xcopy works. Yeah, do we have Xcopy? Let's find out. I don't know. I have disks 1 and 2. I think I killed disk 3. So I might have to recreate that, but we'll find out. Xcopy. Bad. Pop in disk 2. Hopefully it wasn't on disk 3. And hopefully it's actually on one of these disks. LPT isn't a printer port. It is a printer port, but this is a drive that connects to a printer port. So that's why we need that. So yeah, we're connecting a zip drive. Okay. F3. Xcopy is on disk 2. Okay. Bad. Sure. I didn't kill disk 2, did I? Whoa, that's a lot of stuff. You sure it's on disk 2? Is it on disk 2 in a way that we can actually use, or is it some stupid formatted thing? Sure. Star.com. And then exe. It's neither of those. An Xcopy part of command com? I don't believe so, no. But you know what is part of command com? Regular copy, which might not suck now. Nope, still sucks. Never mind. Unless now it actually just does subdirectory copies. I don't know. Copy. C. Star. I assume it was D. I didn't actually pay attention. Overwrite. All. Sure, yeah, what's the worst thing that happens? No, it does not copy that. Let's copy for 622. Do we think it's on the Windows 98 startup disk? Well, let me see if I actually have that. Got a bunch of completely black, unlabeled floppy disks I was using for miscellaneous stuff, and I don't know exactly which is which. Now you can hear? Uh-oh. Everyone be cool. Sure. Okay, is this the 98 startup disk? Probably. Yeah, okay, let's try this. Zip it with PK zip. Oh, now I get what you're saying, but nah. No, at the moment I'm trying to figure out how I can just copy the files to the zip disk. I get what Majenko is saying, because if we use pkzip, we could just send the contents of all of the files to the zip disk in one command. That would actually work. Will the Windows 98 boot disk start with 1 meg of RAM? I have no idea. You want to put a zip on a zip? Yeah. Like an LTO drive, it has hardware compression. That means it already zips, right? Like, we don't need to do that. Useful if DOS could just access the disk as a block device. If it was the IDE drive, it would be able to. But LPT was not a standard way of assigning drives to a machine, so it would never work that way. Format and install 95. I don't think I want to do that. Ooh, oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, that would be awesome. If there was a block imaging program that I could just run on DOS at this point, I would do that instead. I would much prefer that. It's a 286 laptop. What does that mean? Will Windows 98 not start on a 286? I have no idea. If DOS 7.1 or whatever requires a 386, I would not be surprised. Windows 95 needs at least a 386, right? Well, this is Windows 98, so. Okay, I think we are finding out that no, we cannot run the Windows 98 boot disk on a 286 with 1 mega RAM. Or is it still going? I mean, the light's still on the drive. It's trying to do something. I mean, Portizo, that's to install, though. Oh, whoa, hold on. There is a, DOS disk imaging utility. Wait, I would love to know more about this without having to just download it, but, okay. Let's see, DOS, imaging. Be funny if I had a tool that could already do this as well. So I don't know it. Well, those are not hard disk imaging. Manual. Okay. Hard drive cloning and imaging utility. Okay, Dolly's a utility for imaging and cloning hard drives. It copies drives physically, sector by sector. Dolly can copy drives, hard drives to files, and files to drives. Okay. Easily clone a system or create backups. Backups we put onto drives or into files. Store the images on CD-ROM. Okay. Okay. Easy to use, pure DOS command line. It has syntax similar to DOS X copy. Okay, so Dolly thingamajig to thingamajig. Creates an image file of the first drive on the first drive on the second drive that is ready. Okay, 3.2 and up. Do not use Dolly under Windows 95. 286, 4 megs of RAM. That's a problem. Computer still isn't booted, by the way. What do you mean? That was 30 years ago, not possible. All right. Might just be the system they tested on. That is true, but think about this. If they had 4 megs of RAM, they could have less RAM, most likely. Because I don't think there are 2 megabyte RAM sticks, so they could have just pulled them one at a time until it didn't run if they were like really trying to test it. So I don't know. It does not get a real device mapping, but will create image containing the whole thing. So this is all we need to do. We don't need to write to an actual block device, so we're just going to save a .img file like that. So that should work. Your PS2, I stand corrected. Try it? Yeah, I think I probably will. This is going to be an annoying roundabout way that I got to do it. All right, I'm giving up on the thing booting the Windows 98 starter disk. All right. Let's bring back Windows 98 so that I can eject the iOD, so that I can copy Dolly, so that we can put a file on a floppy. Okay. You know, it's just whoa. Copy that. Be basically instantaneous. Eject. Said eject. Okay. Back over to here. Dumbest setup I've ever done for writing floppy disks. God. Wrong mouse. I need this mouse. Okay. Explore. Wait, I was already in Explore. I need open. There we go. So you can always do open a new window in Windows 98, but you do it the stupidest possible way. Okay, let's wait, no, I need PC zip. So we just copy this as is.
Chlorocoon says Tier 100 dumbest setup for writing floppy disks you have done so far. End of line.
Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. Alright, don't need to eject floppy. I mean, other than physically. And we'll boot. We will not boot DOS 6.2 because that will probably use slightly more RAM. So we'll boot the hard drive. Now we'll boot DOS 5 from a floppy. That way the hard drive is not involved in what is loaded into RAM. And then we'll access it using Dolly from this. What data am I recovering? I'm trying to copy the contents of the hard drive from this machine onto a zip disk. I'm hoping buried somewhere in the contents of the hard drive are the two utilities that are unique to this machine that allows me to put the hard drive into standby mode where it just powers it off and invert the screen, which will matter for something like CGA games, because by default, the screen is inverted. That's the real catch here is you'll notice that it is black on white, which is the opposite of how CRTs worked in this era. So, yeah, that makes it, the screen invert is more important if I ever want to run a game on here. Did you fax the Dolly order page to buy a license? Yeah. You tried DIR LCD mode to look for it? No, that sounds smart. We don't want to do that. I'd rather copy everything and then use find in Linux. Because I don't know how the dir search works, but for some insane reason, I do know how the find command works. Okay, PC, zip, yes, LPT1. All right. Oh wait, yeah, it's doing things. So we're gonna run basically this. File sector by sector. Enable the file mask parameter. What's file mask parameter? Yeah, I think we just want this. Okay. So first, hard drive access. Yeah, so we're going to try, what is it, 128? We'll do HD. We're basically just going to do this. Although, hold on. Source target. My image. Why are they doing star? Are they just doing that so they don't put a name? Cost parameter, name. Copy the first 1,000 sectors. Okay, so we're just going to do this minus the, like, sector number part. Yeah, okay. All right, here we go. Dolly. HD 128 to D. LA30.img. And let's, here we go. Let's see what happens. Okay. Hard drive, copy, utility. Your name, you'd be allowed to evaluate the trial period of 30 days. Oh no! How on earth will it ever know this? Is how I'm. Anyway, whatever. Fred. Your street. Nah. Invalid input. What? My street. 1600 and Ave. My city. France. Your province. Antarctica. You read my zip code. 1. This is a really needy software. My zip code. 1111. My country. Noel. My phone number. 3 555 1234. You can now try evaluating Dolly. Oh my gosh. Fine. There. Go. And now it won't work because it doesn't have enough RAM. Okay, 30 days left. I mean, that's got to be like using the system time. Please enter the license key or. Oh my god, this software is super needy. Okay, but it is working. This is super annoying, but dang it, if it's going to work, I'm happy. Well, that's cool. All right. That's new. I've never imaged a hard drive from DOS. That's pretty sweet. Limited to first 20 cylinders. Uh So you find the image file that creates is non-standard, can't be opened by anything? Well, we'll find out. Because we're going to use the Windows 98 PC to put it on the iOD so we can get it onto the Linux computer, and then we can run fdisk from Linux on it and see what we've got. Yeah, it's funny how long the cloned sheep thing has been. It's supposed to be DD compatible. I mean, it makes sense that it's just the binary data from a drive. You can also copy files to files that might be more portable. I'm not sure what you mean. I'd suggest Elks, except I doubt it supports zip drives. I don't know what Elks is. Yeah, screw that 4 megabyte of RAM. Yeah, I'm actually really surprised. That's weird. Why does it say that? And then it crashes because it actually needs it, but for stupid reasons. Okay then. Yes, it is doing cylinder counting. So down there, it's saying it's going to do 83,000. We're at 22. Yeah, I'm gonna want to make a boot disk with this and see if anyone has a registration key because it would be really nice to not have it ask me that every single time. I wonder if it like modified the executable with the date. I bet it did something weird like that. I bet if I pull the files back off of the floppy, it probably self-modified the executable. Remember, that's how teledisc works, and why there is the myth that you have to use a specific version of teledisc to be able to image certain floppies, because teledisc generates a binary that is pre-configured to your hardware configuration, so you don't have to use like a config file or something. Write protect, switch on the Dolly floppy. Well, then it won't ever work because it'll try to self-modify the executable and it will fail. Still stuff maybe we could use Kermit. I mean, we could, but I kind of like this solution. We love teledisc here, TD0 forever. Yeah. I will actually copy the files back off of the floppy. I'm curious. Or at the very least, look at them in Windows 98. Do you like those status LEDs? They are pretty darn awesome. It is funny, if I rotate the camera here, center to that, you can see how much the depth on them actually matters. They are very round and far inset. So now you can't see the left half of the hard drive cylinder. You have original Dolly files, reset the trial? Yeah. And what I could probably do is use PKZip or something to create a permanent copy on the disk and then just unzip it when I want to go use it again. If I'm correct, and it does self-modify the executable. One moment here. I still get to blame the bright lights because they're all over. How flashy is the zip drive LED? Very. That was part of why I had it zoomed out more at first. There you go. We are 54 out of 83,000 cylinders or whatever. But yeah, I think that just blinks at a steady rate as it's being accessed. I don't think that's directly related to anything. Or the software writes in a very repetitious pattern. Be sure to write down that serial number. Which serial? I don't have a serial. Oh, wait, it's right there. That's if they want me to register it, I guess. I wonder how that's generated. Based on time, based on floppy disk format serial. It's weird. Assemble Dolly and IDA, I would have to know how to use that first, and probably I'd use Jydra instead. Because I don't own IDA. And I don't think there's going to be a trial version of that will be as easy to bypass. That's hilarious. Blue Feb. Does it really do DOS executables? And if I got a plugin that let me do GBA, I'm sure someone's made a DOS executable one by now. Also, I love how I'm viewing this in a window, because this is just the stupidest possible way to do this. At least now, when someone asks, why are there black borders, I can say, oh yeah, because we're looking at a window, and then we don't have to feel bad about it. It's totally not because it's sending DCI 4K for some stupid reason. Never heard Jydra pronounced like that? See, I've never heard it pronounced, period, so... And it's not like it's sensible. And since it came from one of the United States, like, secret branches, and CIA, FBI, and then the other one. What's the other one? Oh my gosh, I forget what it is. Anyway, it's a like 3-headed Hydra thing. That's how I think about it. Ghidra. Ooh, that's weird. NSA. Yep, that's it. Oh, copy successful. End of program. Wait, Thriller and GC's watching chat. Yeah, you can always pronounce it as Hydra. Yeah. Ghidra. Oh, that's even weirder. Yeah, that's one of those things where unless I was in a
End of line.
you know, in the Tron universe, that would have a very different meaning. Thank you for the 100 bits, Neo Dragon. I appreciate that. Pronounce it G Hydra. So similar to me, or is that G Hydra? I don't know. Anyway, I will never pronounce it Ghidra. Sorry. Unless I was gonna say, unless I was working in like a professional environment where that's how every single other person there pronounced it, and every time I said Ghidra, they were gonna look at me like I was insane. That's not happening because that's weird. Hydra. Why are you a mod? All right, let's see what the files look like here. I probably want to turn off the Windows 98 computer so I can plug this in. Parallel might be what you call it, hot plug compatible, but I don't trust it. So we're gonna fully shut down. So yeah. Let me push buttons here. I love how I have like all this fancy Extron stuff. Like there is some real crazy stuff here. And then I'm using a push button matrix because the 4K from the RetroTink 4K doesn't work well with all that. Okay, let's shut this down. Parallel's not hot pluggable. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's what I figured. Do I have any reason to leave the computer on? I don't believe so. All right. Give me my disc back. Boom. Actually, there's no reason to eject it. I'm just going to plug it into the other thing. All right. Let me... I'm just going to always film, like, touching the hardware, because when it inevitably explodes, I want it on camera. All right, here we go. Closing the lid as gingerly as possible. I think the hinges are so weak. Yeah. So I'm not pulling on it. It is self-closing, which is horrifying. Also, look how wavy the plastic is. That's kind of scary, too. All right. There we go. I am manually pressing the latch because I don't trust it. Flip a motherboard. Hot plugging it. Oh my gosh, that's scary. Okay. Oh, no. Right, plastic because I missed cable. All right. This zip drive is noisy and warm. Plugging it into the Windows 98 computer. All right. Turning on the Windows 98 computer. All right. Gee, it sure would have made a lot of sense to use that Dell monitor that was back there for the Windows 98 computer, huh? Oh well. Oh, for someone who asked, voltage on the power supply is down to 15.7 after it warmed up. At least it hasn't gone up. No, it's lowering 0 ohms, yeah. I would prefer that, obviously. All right. Floppy disk. Hit enter. You know, I gotta say, Deziak, this is working out to be real convenient. This was not an intended use case, but man, I am sure glad that I've had it for this. All right. We need computer. What year is the laptop from? I'm not 100% sure. So I think the discs said 91, but those are from a later revision. I do have the manual. I don't know if there's a copyright date in that, which should make Digital Ice Age real excited. Let's find out if there is or not. So chaplet. Oh, there's a second update document in here. It says it's updated from 3.1 to DOS 5. All references to the laptop guide to 3.1 should now refer to DOS 5. Also, some references in the manual may no longer be applicable. Please refer to the MS-DOS 5 manual instead. Cool. Okay, let's see if there's a copyright date. It says first edition, June 1989. Is that a copyright date? Okay, it says copyright 1989, Chaplet Systems. Never mind. Apparently, there's some kind of weird copyright stipulation where before, I don't know, some date or something, or maybe it's any date, if you have no copyright date specified, the document is immediately public domain. But there we go, 1989 for the original hardware. Okay. So, we need to use this and run guest, which is going to take a little bit, is the cutoff date. So even if it didn't have copyright notice, it would be too late. We don't know if it was January. Oh, wait, did I say June? June's not familiar, actually. It just says 1989. June 1989 for the first. Darn. All right. It's still going. Okay. Let's go ahead and read a zip disk, which is it this? I wasn't paying attention. I guess it's that. Okay. And then la30.img is 41 megs. Beautiful. Pop that onto drive F. Okay. Ever had to recover data from floppy drive? Oh, you had to silently recover data from floppy drive. Successful. That was the worst experience. So we're doing it from. This is a really wonky, complicated setup. Man, this is the dumbest possible way to go. I'm going to make a new folder. Dolly 2. Whoever used Super Disk, me. Super Disk is excellent. The only reason I would not use Super Disk for this is because I don't know how robust the drivers are for this kind of stuff. Oh, Dolly.license. Excuse me. That might be less complicated than I thought. Maybe they want all that stupid information as a DRM so you don't have to type that in every single time. Because if it's not self-modifying the executable, yeah, I'm just totally deleting that file. Why not Panasonic PD650? Is that a camera or something? Bad the drives are almost impossible to acquire for Super Disk? Yeah, it is a shame. I have the benefit of having been looking for them for like a decade, so I have enough. Although I don't have good USB drive, which kind of really sucks. But I do have good ITE drives. Although apparently those are difficult to use with the tappy USB adapters or whatever. So Super Disk always corrupted on you? I have not had that experience. I have literally run Doom off of a Super Disk. It was so reliable. Oh, well, yeah, that's a little different. I do have a box of Camera shut off. Why did you shut off camera? Just open camera. Brand new unused CompUSA CDRWs. What's up? I don't think I'm going to be using those with the Pelican, though. Got any DVD RAM? No, I have avoided DVD RAM. It seems like something that sounds cool for a video, but then there's already videos, so, like, what's the point? Elsewise, it seems like a bad idea. Plenty of drives that support it, because many of them did, just no media. So you're saying Doom runs on a super disc? Yes, there is a video of it. Not on my channel, though. Oh, that's awesome, Telegraph. That's super cool. I would love to do that at some point. Yeah, forget. There's oh, it's something else. It's another MO drive. I was gonna say there's there like a DVD RAM-ish kind of thing that's caddy based, but I'm pretty sure it's another one. Oh, yes, that it can run. Yeah, it does. Yeah. What doesn't Doom run on? This 286 laptop, that's for sure. Unless someone has now made a 286 compatible version. So, that would be funny. It's the same DVD RAM? Ah, okay. So there is just one that is caddy based as well then. Was caddy in the beginning. Ah, alright. Does work on 286? You sure you're not thinking of Wolf? Because I think Wolfenstein works on a 286, but Doom does not, right? Doom 8088 exists. Interesting. Why data recovery? What happened? Well, I mean, grand scheme, my server exploded, but that's a different thing. No, we're doing data recovery from a laptop that I got recently because I'm hoping that it has utilities on it that the laptop needs that are software configuration utilities for the hardware. So I imaged the hard drive on it. We were copying the hard drive image off now, which is super slow. Oh, the LED blinks a lot faster right now. Okay, I guess that was actually just how fast the Dolly program was copying it. Okay. Some drive animals told the user to take the DVD RAM out of its caddy for normal tray loading. Interesting. In a data recovery rabbit hole last days. Ah, I'm sorry. That is not fun. I had to go through a giant box of my recording drives to do that. I'm just curious about the Doom 8086 or whatever. Doom 8088. Source port of Doom, Frankel targets 16-bit processor since 8088, 286 in addition. Okay. Support for shareware. I mean, it could. Is that all it runs? I don't. No, I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. Sort CGA, MDA. Dude, CGA Doom is hilarious. EMS, ID rocket, give all enemies a rocket projectile attack. Interesting. Removed PWAD support. Interesting. Oh, maybe it's a RAM thing. Maybe the later ones are like need way more RAM. Name optimization low memory footprint, reduce the size, the EXE needs to be generated for each CPU architecture, video mode, and detail level. Whoa. Is there like a minimum RAM requirement listed anywhere? Dude, that is recent. Yeah, I think it could do Hercules, but this laptop has like weird stuff going on with how it handles graphics, so I don't know what'll actually make sense to attempt on it. Oh, it's using that weird compiler. Every time I've looked into this thing, it's like super complicated to set up, and it always just seems like it's not worth it. Text mode support, so it'll render ASCII. That's hilarious. Bob, I completely understand what you're talking about. I have a Gateway Liberty 2000 that thankfully came with the floppy drive, but it is a parallel port floppy drive, except it's not. when you boot it with the floppy drive connected to the parallel port, it identifies it, and then it will remap the parallel port to work as a floppy drive, which really sucks. On that, actually, Hellencroft, question. Data switches. Parallel port's not hot swappable, but those exist. Is it more of a problem when maybe those stay grounded and then that protects it? Because actually, in a video where I got the I forget what brand it is, but the backpack CD, oh, it's backpack, that's the brand. The backpack CD drive with the audio, I used a data switch to have the floppy drive connected with the parallel port CD drive at the same time. Yeah, DZAC, yeah. Data recovery of USB drive? No. Grounding should be maintained. Okay, that would make sense. Took it backpack parallel drives? Nice. I should probably bring one of those home. That'd be handy. Although, I don't really do that much of that stuff here. We're just, we're waiting for the transfer to finish, by the way. It's not fast. Put it in your backpack. So I carry an actual laptop bag, and it's already heavy enough. Only that license file and notepad? You can try that. I got better notepad. Wow, it is not having a good time here. Computer, why are you so cranky? Yeah, I had a feeling it was binary. See, can we at least see the text of the stuff I entered? No, it even re-encoded that. That's so stupid. Yeah, but I got Notepad++ here, so I can actually do Unix line encodings. Good way to burn calories. Nice modern backdoored notepad. I'm going to go ahead and guess that my Windows 98 one is not backdoored. It doesn't have a date, but you can look up whatever Notepad 3.7's from. Ooh, WordPad does Unix line edits. I did not know that. I will keep that in mind. Be funny if everything's XOR but notepadded. Yeah, it might be something like that because there were a whole lot of those stupid parentheses. What a notepad without AI is even possible? Yeah. You know, it's bugging me. I can't see the start bar. There it is. Weird. Dude, VGA is such a disaster. All right. I think that's everything. So now we can eject the, you know what occurs to me? The motorized eject. Will this actually like eject the disk? It does. That's kind of awesome. All right, but we need to eject F so that we can plug it into the modern PC. There we go. And finally, 2 hours later, this should be done. Okay, backup, create new folder, chaplet, LA 30, and boom. There we go. And because that's 40 megs, it doesn't take any time at all. All right, so fdisk -L LA 30, boom, there we go. Yep, that's perfect. Okay. But we have a real disk image instead of a bunch of files? Yes. I have a tool somewhere in here for fixing that. Let me see. Backup. Is it in here? No. Here? No. Let me look through tools. Okay, I don't remember how to do this.
Let's see. End of line.
I am sorry, I do not know how to pronounce your name, but hello and welcome. Geteltel? Hi. We just finished doing some data recovery from a laptop from 1989. We have imaged the hard drive, and we're about to extract the contents of the file so that I can try and look for some system utilities. So, no problem. German for shared brain cell? All right. Well, again, I do appreciate having you here. All right. So let's see. How can we do this? I mean, I guess I could just mount it. Sure. mkdir drive mount LA 30 to mount, or no, drive mtools. Will mtools work with FAT16? Sudo. You guys don't see anything. I said, come on, do the thing. There we go. Bad usage. All right. -T. Fat. All right. FAT16. VFAT. Not BFAT. I know how to type. Oh my gosh. 7-zip. SZ. How did I not know that? That's super handy. -X. No dash. Just X. There we go. Oh my gosh, why is it going into the same folder? Yeah, I use 7-zip for ISOs. I didn't know it would do disk images. All right, F5. Okay. One moment, I got to do this part off screen. Well, that's interesting. One moment. I knew that was going to open over there. Not what I thought. Also not what I thought. That's where it all is. Okay. All right, we're clear to look. As long as we go in that file. Or directory. Okay, so I'm just gonna delete the drive folder, and then I'm gonna make a folder for. Actually, I should have just moved it into the drive folder. Drive. Control A, unselect that, move. There we go. What's there? That's the documents that they wrote on the machine. Okay, DOS. Do we have HDD sleep or LCD whatever thing? E, F, G, H, I, E, F. No HDD sleep. That kind of sucks. And no LCD, whatever, LCD mode. That was it. So we do not have the utilities. That sucks. Okay. That's really unfortunate. System, nope. Data, nope. DA5. That's probably that stupid boot menu cost. I got no idea. All right. Well, that is unfortunate. I wonder if at some point they updated the machine and wiped the drive and didn't think about it. That's very, very unfortunate. Yeah, there's definitely going to be personal data in these. Config sys will be safe. I'm curious if they had to do anything special for that. Nope, totally bog standard. And for giggles, this is the auto exec that it came with. So it just runs. It runs DA5 and then menu. So this is that stupid program that does the whole password protect thing. Autoexec.old. Yeah, it's probably just the one that it came with. Usually what happens is when you install something. So yeah, they ran the what did they install? DOS key or something? I don't know. When you run something that modifies autoexec, they usually make a copy of it somehow. So is that Xcopy? I mean, yeah, the computer had Xcopy on it, which, you know, think about it. We'll not worry about that. No, we'll never know what their tax returns were. Yeah. Wow, that kind of sucks, actually, that it doesn't have those utilities. And I know they're not on the floppies. Unless they're in a cab file. But I don't think they are. Have you managed to do the special features in the device yet? No, that's what I'm saying. This was the only hope to be able to do that. Yeah, Freefall, now that I know that I can do this, I actually need to do this on that Gateway Liberty. No one archived those utilities? I think there are 3 known examples of this laptop on the planet. And mine might be the only one that doesn't have the buttons. What utilities? There are 2 programs that should have come with this machine. One of them I don't really care about. Turns off power to the hard drive. The other one, though, inverts the screen polarity, which makes it white on black. We can sort by date, but I have a feeling they're all basically the same. Yeah, so just swap files and then everything else is the same. Have you checked Disk Master? No. I don't actually know how this works. Browser compatibility. It's like brutalist. X mode. How does that matter? Chaplet. LA 30. 0 results. Okay. Just try Chaplet in general. How risky is this? chaplet images? 7K, though. That's nothing. Well, I mean, I like the hex view. Might want to do this in another window. Good to know. Okay. Search the file name of the utility. Ah, okay. LCD mode.exe. Well, there are several hits. So I don't know how this works. Okay. So we can look at the path. Yeah, I have a feeling this, it's not gonna have it. So they're all SIS. I guess I can just look at the URI bottom. Why is that one so long? Asus. PCW Soft. PCW Soft. Okay. Download them all and compare. Yeah. Also, 20K feels like kind of a lot for something that's just going to toggle a bit. Like, I bet these utilities literally just write to like a register address, and that's it. They just change one bit. Well, Paul Guy, that assumes that they were ever on there in the first place. So according to the documents that I got that came with the machine, they said there was a utility disk that it came with that had them. So if they never copied them, wouldn't be there. Now your point is extremely valid since they had like nothing on the drive. So the whole folder, entire thing, 7 megabytes out of 40. So if they didn't delete stuff, you know what? Hold on. Imhex. Well, I'm just going to open this and see how much of it would be empty. The entire drive has had data on it. The string LCD mode does not show up anywhere on it. Yeah. Yeah, Industrious Ant, you might be. Look for CD mode in case it's deleted. Nope. I guess it's still behind stuff. I didn't realize that. Lost Media, yeah. Yep. Who made the luggable chaplet? Just go look at what LGR's most recent video is. It's the exact same laptop, except his has hardware buttons for the two features. Mine, they decided that buttons were expensive, and they wanted registers instead. Format the HDD. Old-time format was full wipe. Well, it's not zeros, though. That's the thing. It's like random garbage. Unless it just writes random garbage. This is the part that's confusing. Like, I don't get that. Unless writing dev random whatever to the drive is part of the format. Early implementation of AES encryption. Yeah, that's BitLocker on it. That's why we can't find any files. Oh, shucks. Double space? Ooh. I don't know, mate. I don't think it's new enough for that. It also does not have a lot of RAM, which probably wouldn't be good for that. But that line of reasoning is reasonable. That could make sense. For giggles, HDD sleep.exe. Yeah. Actually, does capitalization matter? Sleep.exe. I don't know if it's calm either. No. Let's try, oh, so the matching is not case sensitive and no LCD mode.com. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't think we're going to find it. I want to turn safe search on. Didn't know that was a thing. Oh. What? Oh, that's... There is more safe, and then there is less safe. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Okay. Utilities probably never touch a hard drive. That's my suspicion. Maybe some BIOS-MAC key combo. No. Here. For those of you who may have come in late or didn't see the stream yesterday, allow me to explain this, because I did not adequately explain this in this stream. Okay. So, this is the manual pack that came with the machine. Tucked inside of the actual manual is this piece of paper, all right? LA30 laptop has been modified. The original version of this laptop, we can see on the image here, had buttons underneath of the indicator panels, okay? So this button turns off the hard drive, that button inverts the LCD. This one says, the hard drive button has been removed from the screen panel. The LCD screenverse button has also been removed from the screen panel. The inverse display function is now available from the LCD mode program on the DOS utility diskette. Your DOS utility diskette on your DOS utility diskette is the LCD mode.exe program, which you can use to toggle between normal and inverse display modes. For convenience, we suggest you copy this file to the root directory of your hard disk. This file, you can't see. There you go. Okay, let me let me start that again. This is manual. That is computer. This is old computer, not my computer. Old computer have buttons. My computer no have buttons. So, yeah, we should have LCD mode.exe, and it says it's on the DOS utility diskette, whatever that means. I think it's an additional disk that it would come with that is not included here. We have LCD auto sleep mode that's available in the CMOS, but I don't care about that. When recharging, battery warning LED on your laptop turns red. It is time to use the AC adapter. Once connected, should turn to orange, blah, 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 and it should go green. Well, it's always red on mine because the battery is trash. Oh, LOD mode. That's hilarious. Yeah, and then there's HDD sleep. Tell hard drive to spin down after a specified period of inactivity. Oh, so that one's a TSR. That one's different. I don't think that's how the button works. Pretty sure the button just hard cuts power. Does my computer have better plastics? Yes, it does. And you know what? Given the option to trade one for the other, I'd probably take the plastics. HDD sleep 9, that does not show. Does the BIOS have a setting for HDD sleep? It has a setting for screen sleep. That's it. It does not have HDD sleep. So that's the only setting that's in the BIOS. We've been through the BIOS on stream today. It asks you for date. It asks you for time. It asks you if your drive configuration is correct. And then it asks if you want to auto sleep the display. That's it. How bad would it be to reverse engineer Do we have a BIOS dump? No. Because this is currently, I believe, the only known one of these laptops that has this exact hardware configuration on the planet. Yeah, so Majenko is linking my copy of the disk utilities, or the DOS disks. So, yeah, you can BIOS dump from DOS. Well, if I can do that, I'm willing to do it. That's a little easier. You did scroll down far enough? Yeah. So you can look on those disks, but I'm telling you, there's nothing on the roots of those. So, should be able to do it with just debug? Yeah. I'm going to need a little more than just, you can do it with the system monitor program. BIOS? But again, so going based off of that, if this is a photo of the machine that they dumped the BIOS from, then it's not going to be valid because they have the buttons. Also, it's hilarious having seen this photo from like 20 years earlier, whatever, because my bag has yellowed because it's old. LCD mode utility even use the BIOS? Yeah, that's a possibility. Retro bright bag. I think it just needs to be dyed. uh, Wait, how old is this? Because they mentioned the battery might leak. $86 as a tool for dump the BIOS. Okay, that's a lot better. Websites from 2016. Last modified day by the photos. Man, you are just spam on that. Okay. That makes sense. So that's a fourth one. Unless this is from the person who helped LGR. Now, so the manual references the button model, and then what they did is they included an additional like insert and errata page that basically says, "Hey, we changed it. Here's the stuff that's pertinent to the changes." Hmm. All right, we can try the BIOS dump, I suppose. I think speculation is correct that it's not going to be a BIOS. Well, you know what? It could be a BIOS utility. The BIOS could have a subroutine that communicates with the rest of the hardware. I don't know. Write our own LCD control utility. Yeah, I think I'd rather just take the line that says dark and the line that says bright and then just switch them. I would rather it just be permanently invert. That's a lot of files. Does this take a whole 144 disk? Hopefully it only does take a whole 144 disk. Oh my gosh. I was going to say hopefully it takes a 360 disk, but geez. Free full. Those are my copies. That's how I know they don't have the files on them. All right, we'll write these to a floppy through the Windows 98 machine again, and then see what. I mean, I'll upload the BIOS because this sure beats like dragging it to the office and tearing it apart and putting the thing in the EEPROM reader. Should have read more closely. It's fine. And hello, old one. All right. Yep, let's go ahead and write a floppy in the dumbest way we possibly can. Hold on a minute. This computer is on. I did not realize I left it on. Okay. Yeah, there, on. Okay. Ion is ejected. Plug it in. I'm not sure why you're asking about the Hydro Thunder dashboards. Mine are fine. The only problem that's wrong with mine is that there are spots where basically washers hold the dashboard on and they can crack over time. I solved mine by making the brackets that clamp around a larger area, which just fixes it entirely. The sides are broken. Not on mine. Mine are fine. The only thing that's slightly wrong on mine is that I made the bracket for the throttle plate a little too tall, so I've had to extend them out. The revised version on GitHub of the throttle bracket does not have that issue, by the way. Oh, I copied 86 bucks dump to there. Let me grab, I mean, I guess there's no reason I can't just use that blue floppy and just delete the stuff that's on it. Skip config sys and auto exec. Follow the instructions there to dump the BIOS and keyboard firmware. Interesting. Another example did exist. I am curious. Free Geek Vancouver. Okay. So this is weird, all right? Mine is missing all of the badging. I don't know why. Oh, wow. That sucks. Someone really had to redneck the, yeah. That's unfortunate. Man, I wish I had the hardware button version. Oh, they don't have the RAM expansion either. All right. Well, that's interesting. I was not expecting that I would end up with one that is unique. Or put another way, man, it really sucks having one that's unique. Oh, you can just do it with NiCad C cells? That's so easy. There's another person with one. Why was the LGRs the only one that exploded? What are we trying to do again? We were trying to find copies of the system utilities that control the hardware of the laptop, and we were able to get a full image of the files off of the laptop, but we were not able to find the files that we need to be able to control the laptop on it. So what we're going to do now is just kind of like a matter of course BIOS dump, just in case maybe something can be seen by someone else, not me, because I'm not going to know anything out of a 286 BIOS dump, that might indicate how the LCD mode specifically could be switched. So yeah, I'm not super optimistic about this. All right. Let's go ahead and boot the laptop. Power supply is up to 16.1 volts now. Ooh, fancy. There is no auto exec that it's going to run, but there might be a config sys, so I will have to mess with that if that's really important. Facebook Marketplace and MI that is identical to yours. If this is not the one that, well, no, I didn't go to Michigan to buy mine. Here's Chaplet number 4 or number 5. Let me see. I know the listing I bought is gone. Yep, that is a different one. Okay. Huh. That's funny. All right, so there's a lot more of them than I initially thought. Excuse me. Also missing badges. Different power supply. Has the stickers on the back. Leading edge. Ooh, okay. Interesting. It's a different bag entirely. So don't show it on. Don't show manuals or media. Well, this one clearly had badges at some point that just fell off. Interesting. Well, Digital Ice Age, a lot of things would have to work out for that to make sense. All right, type config.sys. I think this has the high mem stuff, so ren config. I don't know how critical this is. This config back duplicate file back to B2. There we go. Control Alt Delete. Not Control Alt. Okay. Let me. I don't. Yeah. 195 for that. You know, these in working condition, like just generally this kind of machine is worth a little bit. All right. Here's a plain as dirt boot. All right. We can't see. There you go. Now you can see. Have fun. Don't break it too badly. Hopefully I don't break it any at all. One moment. You gotta not see for a second. Run 86 by 80bx dump and plain DOS. Okay. The value's previously sold price. Yeah, but you can't see that on Facebook. 86 bx tilde because I'm lazy. Rat. 86 bx dump. Not Dono. Okay. File not found. And then it ran anyway. Okay. All right. AMI key froze your machine. If in doubt, ABC. I really don't care about the keyboard controller. Gotta be completely honest. We're just gonna do the BIOS.
Philpin subscribed at Tier 1. They've subscribed for 14 months. End of line.
Philip, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 14 months. I appreciate that. Already image a hard drive? Yes, I did. Do you wish to dump anything else? I can use the screen to look at any program output given no, and then we'll dir dumps, because I'm not 100% sure if that actually worked. Dir dumps. Yeah. So 86bx dump. Why does it keep saying, like, it did say file not found? Okay, wait, did it have to make the folder or something? Let me try this one more time. Yeah, it said some error, file not found, and then it didn't work. out. Calling a disc Dolly, but Twitch bumped me up to real time. Oh. I mean, it was only 36 years ago. Yeah, they could still be alive. Do they have copies of any of this stuff? That's a completely different question. And it's not like they're going to remember the register numbers to poke at. It is a batch file, if I remember correctly. Whoa, beeps. Watch, it's trying to run X copy. Edit does not work. This is going to be way too long. Useful. But just in case it isn't. Oh, not bad. Yeah, it's way too long. Oh my gosh, this is the whole thing. Whee! Need to have a dumps folder? Well, it made one, didn't it? Sure. Yeah, it made a dumps folder. It's still not going to be there. It's still errored out. Yeah. Dumb question. Could I just run bios dump.exe? Dumps. I mean, it might like require a folder or something. I mean, cd dumps. A bios dump. Bad command or file name. That was where to put, right? A. Leave the exes for stuff you don't want to dump. Wait, where did all the files go? Oh, wait. A slash. Bios dump.exe. A bios dump.exe. Can't run DOS 4GW. Can I just run DOS 4GW and then run? Now we're getting into stuff I'm not as familiar. DOS 4GW. Error, protect mode only available 386 or 46. Okay, well, that was fun. Debug and do it manually. I do not know how. What is the mystical option that makes that work? You have proper configs to get max RAM? Nope. I specifically disabled it because I can dump it with. Okay. That's a long command. That's a real long command. Jeez. What do you mean, no? For some reason, it won't let me click Helen Croft's link. All right, here's debug. Extra space? What do you mean extra space? I haven't run anything. Okay. In BIOS, RCX. Well, I'll try this, I think, because this looks basically the same as this, just inline, as long as this works the way I think it does. Send in Discord to Switch loses formatted text. Okay. I can look at that. Where did you send it? Generally, the TT Live channel is the best place to put stuff like that. Debug approach assumes you know where the BIOS is. Isn't it basically always 0, though? DM works. Okay, so I assume, not that it's gonna actually matter here, but it would still be typed in like that. I don't know. I can look at that ROM dumper utility that was also linked. Let me see what that looks like. Yeah, I guess I can just try this. I'm gonna try this first. I don't have anything against doing the debug way, but in case this is easier and less error prone. Oh wait, not Windows 98 yet. Getting a lot of miles out of the file transfers today, that's for sure. Whatever. I don't know if the EAS file is actually needed or not, but just grab it. Have Windows 98 on the network so you can transfer files to it that way. That would make sense. I do have it all set up for that, but not for this computer. Turns out that trying to do ad hoc file transfers over SMB kind of sucks. So I've basically given up on that. And FTP is terrible for big files. Not that these are big files, but sneaker for the win, yeah. Zircon parallel port adapter for SMB in 286 days. I, in theory, could do that. I do actually have one of those. I think it's token ring, though, which is a little wonkier. Okay. ES files the source code. Oh. They're written in Pascal? Weirdos. All right. Pico IDE with Wi-Fi image upload. Oh, gosh. All right. Actually, I'm going to have to go up a directory. Never mind. It figured it out. Okay. ROM dump R. Like a pirate. R. Well, that's pretty simple. Okay. All right. Yeah, I can't ask for much more than that. As long as that looks like it actually caught everything. All right. Well, hail Trickster. Is this by? Oh my gosh, Trickster. Brain is just bleh. All right. Back to Windows 98. Yeah, that makes sense. You would have that. Something so simple and easy. All right. That's already over there. Go here. And then boom. Okay. So I need a disk with Dolly and a disk with ROM dumper, and those probably fit on the same disk. Oh, it has to have the zip PC zip program so that the drive clone has somewhere to go. Building up all the tools we need for PC archiving. Yes, we did seem to have dumped the BIOS and make it a bootable. Yes, DOS bootable disk, exactly. Probably DOS 5, actually. That'll get us FAT16. Could be FreeDOS, but kind of need a lot to make FreeDOS work, so rather I wouldn't have as much room. Including display card, IDE, etc. Interesting. I should run it with the H flag or something at some point. Okay. Why not 622? There was a reason. I don't remember what it was. So I don't know. This is what I'm looking at. Okay. You just want me to pop those up on archive.org, I guess? Chaplet, LA 30. Oh man, I never remember how to spell Hallekin. It's such a weird word. Just search it and grab it from LGR's video title. BIOS. Dump. There we go. Chaplet, LA 30, BIOS. A BIOS dump of a Chaplet Hallekin LA 30 using the ROM dumper utility. BIOS, PC. I don't know. That's for sure. Whatever. Community software. Creator. You know, like, I have no idea. I'm just gonna not. Because it could be like Phoenix systems or something. I don't know. Okay. All right, there we go. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Probably wouldn't have been a bad idea to look at them in Hexu to make sure they're not all zeros or something. There we go. Mini Scribe. That's who made him. Okay. Well, oh well. Wait, that's a hard drive brand, isn't it? This is IDE controller BIOS then? Well, that's the high end though, wait. Right? Like then there's this. Also Mini Scribe. They are the same? I don't know how PC BIOS works. There we go. AMI. Wait, that's the keyboard BIOS. I got no clue. Well, diff them. They're very different sizes, so they're not exactly the same. It may have grabbed the IDE ROM. I don't know. Yeah, this is probably the real BIOS. Well, this kind of sucks, but oh well. And there it is. It is available. I will just go ahead and link that in case anyone cares. All right. Oh, man. Anyway, Megastar, I think you were asking about the data recovery. We were able to image the hard drive, get the files off, but the two files that I'm looking for, or more specifically, one of them that allows me to invert the LCD colors, is not there, which makes the machine a little less desirable to use. Technically, it's not a thing that prevents functionality, but without it, it's going to make games look weird. So yeah, without that, it's not as fun to use, but it's still completely functional. So I will say it was a thing for games of this era to sometimes include an invert option. So that might be a possibility if I just narrow my set of games. So. All right. Well, we're kind of out of options here. On the bright side, the machine's been running great. So that's good. I am curious about some if I can make it demonstrate the behavior over here. Not really. Okay, interesting. Hmm. Let's see. I probably can play some version of Quake. Yep, most likely. No, it's Doom actually though, not Quake. I don't think Quake at least. That would be miserable. Knowing you're not going to make a video, I don't know why you'd even want to play games on it. Yeah, that part does kind of suck. It's more to give it utility. It is really a weird choice that they made with the screen resolution and stuff. So, or indeed both Doom and Quake. Maybe there's some later Rockbox that I'm not aware of that for other stuff. I don't know. Hmm. All right, I am mildly curious about this, and then I'll go do the usual disappointing search where I look and see if the FIO X5 is supported. Quake, okay, performance. Running on an iPod video. Wow. Or is that a classic? That's a classic. There's no discrete button in the center. Okay, that makes more sense if it's running on a classic. AMI BIOS need for an AMI tool. 8.8 early for VJ laptops. Compact's the first to do it. Well, I wasn't that. I do have an EEPROM reader, but not here, and we're not disassembling this thing. Almost identical to the old computer dump, same date and version, but a few different bytes. Interesting. I do not have a modded GameCube. Do make a video that you want to have the files if anyone has them. That's a little bit of a weird ask. And then I'm just going to get people who are going to link me that listing from Michigan or whatever, saying just go buy this. Who needs modded GameCubes? Modded Wii's are such an easy thing to do because Wii's suck. That's why. Anyway, VOX5. That's not it. Long story short, it's always they're not really working on it. All right. Is there anything else to do here? I was looking for my phone. It's because it's being used as a camera. I think with that BIOS dump, someone can in theory make 4 to run the entire system on the Mr. FPGA. No. You'd have to emulate the exact hard drive controller, the exact VGA controller, the exact keyboard controller. Like, it's just no. No one should waste their time doing that. I don't know. I don't really care about the FPGA stuff in general. So, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you could run an 86 box. That would be a lot better. Be a lot more likely to work. They, as far as I'm aware, they do emulate some of that stuff, but not in quite the same way as like FPGA. It's not directly translatable, and it's a little more high level. It's 86 box. Box 86, I believe, is basically a QEMU wrapper, isn't it? Eight box 6. Wow. You know, it's kind of funny. Oh, it's for x86 emulation on ARM. That makes sense. The display must be relatively heavy on this machine. Because if you look at the case, specifically towards the bottom, it's actually bowing in. These are farther down than that is up. So the plastic is not shattered, but it's not impervious. Really sucks those stupid buttons aren't just there. But oh well. At least it works. And it's not shattered. Power supply is going to do 15.4 volts, by the way. And it's still going strong, so yeah. I think it's ABS. I have no idea. Laptop needs Botox. Not shattered yet. No, I don't think it's gonna shatter. I just think that the plastic on this one isn't gonna be like that. Jinxing it so hard. Nah, I think it's fine. All right, well, I really don't have anything else to do with this today. Tomorrow, we're gonna go back to the office and we're going to scan the manual. Because as far as I'm aware, this is not scanned anywhere. So we'll scan and process this tomorrow. And I guess I can also just show it over here. That. And then the saga on this laptop will be complete because not a whole lot else to do. So, yeah. 40 minutes playing 64. Nah, we're not gonna context switch. We're just gonna wrap it up, I think. So yeah. I think that is it. So, I am gonna find and run the outro somewhere here. Alright, there it is. Alright, well, thank you all for coming here and helping me out and trying to get this going. That did not go how I thought it would. I was really hoping we would find the files, but oh well, that's how it goes. So, yeah, but at least, you know, the machine works. And now that I have a copy of the hard drive, I don't have to be as concerned about accidentally wiping it. And I can maybe reset it to something a little more basic, instead of having whatever that weird like menu thing is on there. So yeah, but that is going to be it for now. So if you enjoyed this stream, you may want to follow to be notified when I go live again next, which will be 20 hours from now. Oh yeah, there's a thing I can do. One moment. Hold on. You guys won't really care that much because you were here for it, but over on the second channel, talk slowly as I click buttons. There is now a video about me getting that CED player working. So if you want to go watch a video, you can watch the one on restoring the CED player. And by restoring, I just mean removing the disk that was in it. And yeah, so, all right. I'll see you all later.